Remember now, it was the Obama connection to the Lockerbie bomber release only came out accidentally. It was because a Democrat, it wasn't because of the news media or whatever we're going to call these people, flacks for the ruling class. It was, they ignored it. It was American Democrats looking for a new angle to rip into BP after they capped the well. They were demanding an investigation. So they were uncovering all kinds of, looking for things. It was Lautenberg, Menendez, Gillibrand, and Chuck U. Schumer. Here's how CNN put it last week. In the wake of turbulence of the rupture in April of a BP deepwater well, a rupture that is still releasing millions of gallons of crude oil into the Gulf of Mexico, the U.S. senators grasped onto another reason to scrutinize the troubled oil giant. That quote is from a July 14th CNN report. Senators question whether BP played a role in Pan Am bomber's release. And even CNN could not escape the obvious. They said the U.S. senators grasped onto another reason to scrutinize the troubled oil company. And when they started looking into it, guess what? They found a memo indicating the regime of Barack Obama had supported the early release of the Lockerbie bomber. And people said, why? I'll tell you why. It is because President Obama does not give a damn about what went on before he became president. He doesn't care about the people of this country, but he wants to give the impression that he does. He wants to give the impression that he's doing everything for them, for us. Just remember the context of the time. He wanted to make nice with the Muslim world. He figured out, look, at the people on that airplane, Pan Am, were gone. Nothing he could do about that. Can't bring them back anyway. So turn the page, hit the reset button, make nice with the enemy. Also, show the Muslim world that you're different, that you're better, that you're not an imperialist American, that we can all get along. Remember the Cairo speech. Remember the desire to give Khalid Sheikh Mohammed a trial in New York City after the Sheikh had asked for the death penalty. This is the truth. And, you know, a lot of people have trouble with the motivations because, well, a lot of people have trouble with the actual fact. Why would Obama want to participate or okay the early release of the Lockerbie bomber? So that's the question people have. Then when you tell them, as I just did, now, Rush, come on. You really think? Yes, I do. And all you have to go do is go back and look at the context of the time. Context being a big word now. And the context at the time was to show the rest of the world that we're new now, that we're different, that the rest of the world can love us and respect us, that we don't have the hatreds that we had when Bush was running the show. We don't hate the Muslims. We don't hate the Islamo-fascists. We're going to reach out to them. What happened before I got here, Obama says, is irrelevant. Now that I'm here, I'm the one you've all been waiting for. Now America is finally just. Now America has finally become truly moral. What happened before I got here doesn't count anyway. Doesn't matter. America was flawed then, but America's perfect now because I'm perfect and because I'm here. Can't bring the people on that airplane back. So turn the page, hit the reset button, make nice with the enemy, and then say, can't even call it terrorism anymore. There's no question why he supported the release here. From the UK Guardian, by the way, one of the preferred publications on the receiving end of the Afghanistan war ducks. Barack Obama is under growing pressure to release a letter that reveals the U.S. grudgingly supported freeing the Lockerbie bomber on compassionate grounds. The letter was sent to Scottish ministers by a senior diplomat at the U.S. Embassy in London last week, 8 days before, this is July 25th this year, 8 days before the bomber was released from prison because he was dying from inoperable prostate cancer. Obama regime has refused to allow publication of the letter, in which the U.S. says allowing the bomber to live at home in Scotland would be far preferable to sending him back to Libya under the prisoner transfer deal brokered by the former Prime Minister Tony Blair in 2007, which makes perfect sense. It would appear that Obama was all for letting the mass murderer out of prison, but he didn't want doing so to help Scotland and BP to get more carbon-emitting oil from Libya. After all, he's got his priorities here. So it's very apparent now that the administration is making all of this up. They did indeed give support to the whole idea of the release of the Lockerbie bomber.